Hello again and welcome back, or welcome if you're just joining us for the first time. If you like the videos, please remember to subscribe. Today in the vise we have a Hanak 250 barbless hook, and it's at size 14, quite small. I wanted a small hook because today I'm going to tie the Crippled Midge. The thread I'm going to be using is the Ultimate Tying Silk in black. And before I cast it on, I'm just going to add a tiny spot of super glue. It's very slippy, these very thin silks, and super glue is the best way of bedding it in. So I'll catch that in and just run it down the length of the shank and then back up again. Now I've rested my thread about just over 1/8 of an inch from the eye of the hook here. I need to, in fact I could do with being just a little bit further back than that. That suits me fine. So I'm just over 1/8 of an inch. The wing post I'm going to use is the ultra dry yarn. It's a fish on product. It comes on this little card. I've already taken a bit out. Now I've already taken a considerable amount off of this and it's still too thick. So I just want to trim that down a little bit more. It's easy enough to do. It splits away and you can pull it apart. So I've got my wing post now. I'm just moving any erroneous fibres and I'm going to catch that in where my thread's resting. I'm just going to come in front for 3 or 4 turns and then back to the resting position. Now, as with all post flies, you don't want to cut this straight, you want to cut it at a little angle. Sorry, my snips have seen better days. I need to get a new set. And then what you get is naturally it tapers away, which is good for what we want. Now I've run it back to where the barb on a hook would be normally, and I'm going to tie in my rib. Now I'm using a silver wired rib. It's just a very small plain silver, and I'm going to run that up the entire length of the body just to keep it nice and even. Come back down to the bottom. And for the body material, I'm going to use my old favourite, Trout Stalkers. Now this blend's called Fiery Brown. Now my wife always says I'm colour blind, but for my money this is more a reddy, burnt red with highlights of red. But you know, Andrew's called it Fiery Brown. Who am I to argue? I've got some in my fingers now. I'm just going to dub it on. Like so. Okay. So I'm ready to come up the body. And I've just got that little carrot taper going on there. So before I do anything else, I came up the body turning clockwise. I'm going to come up with my rib anti-clockwise. I've got 3 turns into the body there. In fact, you've probably seen 4. And I'm going to catch that at the end. Bring everything back towards yourself. Come to the front of the fly. So I've now caught that in. I can twist away my wire rib, and what I'm going to do now is tie in my wing. I've got an old generic cape here. It has seen better days, to be honest, but there's a few good feathers still in it. I've taken one off here, and all I'm going to do is strip away a few fibres from the core and wax up my thread to give me some grip. I'm going to catch that just in there at the back, as well as a couple of turns here. Now the stalk, it might be quite difficult for you to see, but the stalk does extend towards the front of the eye here, and I'm going to trap that all in now. Okay, before I do anything else, what I want to do is add a little bit more wax, and I'm going to, if you've got a set of gallows, it's quite handy to incorporate them. I just use my fingers. I have got a set of gallows, I never use them. A bit like the whip finish tool actually. One of them redundant things. Okay, so I've managed to make my post stand up straight. I'm going to again grab some of my dubbing. Come 2 turns at the front. Just remove the excess dubbing and then bring my thread directly behind my eye. So my post is standing up right now. Simply take my my hackle feather, and I always do, so they're all the same, 5 turns. And then you get a bit of continuity. Make sure, I'm going to just, usually I wouldn't be mucking about like this, but I want you to see this bit. I've brought my feather right in behind the eye and I've still got hold of it there. So let's hope I don't make a mess of this at this point. So once I've got it there, I know if I get my thread just under the eye, I'll catch that in with 1 turn. If I pull everything back now, I've definitely caught the feather. And what I'm going to do for belts and braces is pull everything back, and then the feather here just plucks away. Next thing then is to bring our post over the front of the eye. Try and get the rest of your fibres just out the way. Then catch that in with 3 or 4 turns. Bring your thread in front of your post now, and keeping tension on the thread, or you can whip finish at this point, but I'm going to keep some tension on my thread, add a little bit of UV, onto my thread, pull it all back once more, and I'll put a half hitch in to finish. Of course you could have used a whip finish tool, just like you could have used a gallows tool. Right, I'll remove that, and again I'll pull everything out of the way and just get my UV torch on that to cure it off. There we go. Now at this point I want to just trim up my post, and just going to get rid of these little fibres that are sticking out. Now with the post, what you want to do is, I use my thumb mostly, and I want to flatten this out just like we did with the big red. Very similar, only it's a much smaller pattern only. Get that nice and flat, and then I would generally, before it goes in the box, I would gink this up so that when I'm out fishing, I know when I put it on, it's ready to go. Now, it seems to me it's a fly of the moment rather than anything in particular. I prefer to fish a Bob's Bits, which is much simpler, and it seems to do just the same sort of job. But there you go, there's a crippled midge. I hope you enjoyed that, and thanks very much for watching.